Have you ever spent so long and so many hours just thinking, imagining, and training with no breaks? That's the life of a professional cyclist. It's almost like a drug addiction you just can't kick. I'm Albert Kohalik, and this is my story. Training for the Tour de France requires my full attention. During my earlier years, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into preparing for the elite cycling competitions. I trained 3 times a day to stay on top. Most people are not able to handle competing at my level. The amount of training and pressure would make people do anything to give them that edge. I noticed that some people were taking drugs, but they were my friends, so I didn't want to rat them out. Taking drugs was normal. No one really paid attention to it. I'm sure that was part of the problem. I saw it at every training session. You can't really get away from it. I didn't want to ignore the problem completely, though. I had the chance to talk to them about using steroids, but I never got around to it. The pressure of keeping my sponsors, not disappointing my fans, and fighting to stay on top were constant reminders of the struggle us riders went through. We had to bike 3,000 kilometers in 3 weeks. Who wouldn't feel the pressure with a bike route meant to test your limits? The problem is, we had no time to recover after that. The nights in the hotel rooms were very sore, and the next morning you couldn't even walk. How can we compete in this condition unless we are taking steroids, all for your viewing pleasure? Despite all the hard training, I was struggling to keep up with my competition. At the same time, I still had my eye on the prize, the gold medal. I would do anything to achieve this. The amateur days were great, and I got used to winning. But I wasn't on top anymore. I was in the middle of the pack, and that's not good. My coach kept on yelling about how I'm not on top anymore. He didn't really care as long as I'm winning again. Even when I was winning, he found a way to still scream at me. I felt trapped, like I had no way of improving my performance without taking steroids. So I did. It felt like I had to. I had a lot of money riding on this with sponsorships and contracts. I still had to put food in my mouth as well. Everyone else was taking roids, so I thought that's the only way for me to level the playing field. Everyone was so concerned about my success. The media and fans all had their suspicions. I could feel it, even though nobody said anything. When you're at the top, everyone is always suspicious. People will always think you're cheating. That's why the World Doping Agency was on my back. I had to take a test, and the results would be public. They would take blood and urine samples. I realized I had to find a way around the doping agency. I had the idea to buy urine from somebody and pass it off as my own. Turns out the lab found out my urine sample and my blood sample results didn't match. I never thought I could come to grips with doping, let alone getting caught. I always imagined the backlash that I would get if I was caught. I wondered how my friends and family would view me. I made my choice when I took the steroids. The bullying from my fans, the media, and losing my sponsors all took a toll on me. I had to get away from it all, so I decided to retire. Now that I have more time, I wonder how my life would have been if I didn't do what I did. The world seems to blame me for what I did, but it really felt like I had no choice. It was my only way out. Can you really blame me for what I did? What would you do in my position?